I've got some insanely exciting news to share with you. Whew, let's go. Hello and welcome back to Safari Wednesday. It's so awesome to see how many of you are enjoying these videos, contacting me personally, leaving comments, subscribing. It's epic. I'm so glad you're liking them and I can't wait to bring more to you. Today, we're discussing what I think is the perfect age for children to go on their first safari. If you're new to the channel, you might not know that I've been absolutely and utterly obsessed with safari since a very young age. I mean, this is me age 4 in Zimbabwe on my first ever safari. There's one thing I distinctly remember about that safari, although it's probably only because I was ridiculed about it on every subsequent safari by my brother and sister. And that's apparently that whenever we approached an amazing sighting of, say, lions hunting buffalo or something like that, I really needed to pee. And so we had to back up, head out. I had to go for a pee. Thankfully, there's no photos of that before we could then go back in again. While I don't remember huge amounts about that particular safari, I do know that it laid the foundations for what would develop into my deep love of Africa's people, its amazing natural landscapes, and of course, the phenomenal wildlife that call it home. When I was 9, I was lucky enough to go on my third safari, and this time it's really where the Africa bug hit hard. We were so lucky to go to an incredible place in South Africa called Londolozi in the Sabi Sands, which is probably, I'd go so far as to say, the best place in the world to find leopards. And it was there, after about 3 seconds of sitting on a tracker's seat and spotting my first impala, that I declared that when I grew up, I would become a safari ranger. Fast forward about 13 years and that childhood dream became a reality, and I was lucky enough to become a safari guide. And since then, I mean, I've carried on my obsession with safari in Africa, but I've also been able to guide so many amazing people. But I've always particularly enjoyed guiding children. And I think it's because I've been able to see that love and respect for nature really begin to develop in them. So what is the perfect age for kids to go on their first safari? Now, this of course depends on so many factors. I mean, no two children are the same. The first thing to consider is where you yourselves want to go, whether that's a particular country or a type of safari lodge or camp. That's where you need to start. A lot of safari properties have an age limit for the minimum requirement a child has to be to come to that lodge or camp. But there are others which have no limits, but they themselves might have restrictions on the minimum age that a kid can be to go on a game drive or a walk or a canoe trip, anything like that. But there's always a way around that, and there are some incredible sole use properties throughout Africa where you can take over the place yourself. Amazing if you're going with grandparents as well, or an extended family, or with friends. And you can then just take over the day however you want it. Plan it yourselves, head out whatever time you want to. There's always people on hand to babysit the children or take care of them throughout the day. So you have some amazing sole use properties. One of my favorites is Mkombe House in Tanzania. Absolutely stunning place. But if you wanted somewhere which was potentially malaria free, which is another consideration a lot of parents have when thinking about this, then somewhere like Melton Manor in Kwandwe, which is in South Africa, is a really great option. And if you didn't want to take out a property all to yourself, there are lots of other options as well, and lodges and camps that are suited to hosting and welcoming children that also allow you to relax throughout your stay, because that is vitally important too. And they also have babysitters, childminders, guides who are specifically skilled at guiding children, and it is slightly different to guiding adults, that's for sure. Now, people are always obviously conscious of safety when going on safari, especially with kids, and so you can rest assured that whenever you arrive at your safari camp or lodge, you'll be sat down and talk through all the safety measures in place and how you can kind of go about your day safely there. There's always precautions that are in place, and if we're talking about Bonomi travel, we'll only ever recommend somewhere that is very safe for you. So you've got that safety from inside the lodge. And when you go out on game drive, your guide will make sure that they get to know you well, and really they'll take time to slowly ease you into the do's and the don'ts of being on a safari vehicle, and they'll tend to avoid the slightly more high profile sightings. So that's maybe a leopard eating an impala or anything kind of crazy like that, until they've really gauged out how comfortable you are in certain settings, and especially for you as a parent, how comfortable you are with your children. So they'll take their time until you're ready to kind of go towards the bigger sightings. And if you just want to take it slow, take it slow. We completely tailor our safaris to you, and one of the best ways to do that is actually by making sure you book a private vehicle when you're on safari, just because it gives you that extra freedom to go at your own pace. I'd say as a general rule, 6 years old is about the age that most safari lodges will be happy to welcome children, allow them to go on game drives, etc. But obviously that's quite tricky if you've got a couple of children at different ages to balance that out. And on the whole, I would say that the younger a child is, the better for going on safari, obviously within reason, because it really allows them to develop that passion from a young age. And to be honest, you're going to be hooked on safari pretty quickly, so you'll go again. And there really is nothing quite as spectacular as just seeing the face of a 2-year-old just light up when they see their first elephant in the wild. It's electric. I mean, it's funny as well. Make sure you got your camera on it, because it's just sheer awe and wonder and passion that's just being lit. It's amazing to see. On that note, my advice is just get on safari as early as possible. Don't wait too long, because it's so special, and you will just love watching your sproglets grow in this amazing environment. Now then, that really exciting news I was telling you about at the beginning of the video, which, don't worry, I wasn't just hooking you in to watch to the end. There is big news. It's huge. I am, you can probably tell, quite excited about it. This time, in exactly a month, I will be taking Ols, my beautiful wife, also a safari aficionado who is this fine track on the front of the vehicle, to Londolozi. It is so exciting. I can't wait to introduce her to all the people that I knew as a little tracker ranger apprentice, and also just to be back in that amazing place and show it to you. So thank you so much for watching yet another Safari Wednesday. Can't wait to bring you lots more. If you have enjoyed the video, please click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that little bell thing to make sure you do not miss the next Safari Wednesday.